This is the Saturday stretching series. This is a 2-minute relief for tight hamstrings and related sciatic nerve pain. Stay tuned. First of all, if you've got any area of the body that you need help or tips for stretching, please drop me a comment in the box below. It's the quickest place for me to see them and respond to them. If enough of you comment about it, I'll make a video on it. Otherwise, I'll respond to comments at the end of the next video. So please watch videos all the way to the end and I'll come back to those questions at the end of the stretching routine. So this is a very quick 2-minute routine you can do anywhere, anytime, and you can get instant relief in your hamstrings and the back of your quads, which can be tight very easily, particularly before and after sports, and can give you a lot of tightness, and particularly if you have sciatic pain, this video is for you as well. So let's get right to it. So the first thing to remember is that your hamstrings run down the back of your leg. So anytime that you do any kind of sports exercise, blood is going to rush into those muscles and get them moving, but then some of it's going to hang around, which is going to end up with stiffness at the end of it. So it's important to stretch so that you clear those areas out, but invariably you're going to end up with some form of stiffness at one time or another. So there's two very quick ways of doing this that I found to be very effective and very fast working. So here we go. So first of all, you're going to have one leg flat on the floor and you're going to push this, move this fairly horizontally in front of you, and the other one you're going to get the ankle and put this on top of the knee here. Now this might be up in the air for you, or it might be lower down than mine is, but it doesn't really matter. It'll be in this area or region somewhere. So first of all, you can get both legs relatively comfortable. You can even put cushions underneath, or you can even get yoga blocks underneath if that helps you. But ideally, you just work to do this anywhere so that you don't need any special equipment. Now all you're going to do is you're going to lean a little bit on this knee here, and you're simply going to rock forwards and then backwards, and then rock forwards again and backwards. Now what you're trying to find is an area that you feel the hamstring sticking and almost clicking as you move back and forth. Now if you don't find this, then I'll show you how to deal with that in a minute. But if you're leaning on this, moving backwards and forwards, just listen and pay attention to your body and find, usually between the back of the knee and the top of the thigh, there'll be some area that the hamstring is clicking or almost twitching as you move back and forth. Because as you do this movement, it is very gently moving the hamstring about, because your pelvis angle to your leg is changing very slightly. Now if you don't find this, you might need to bring in a yoga block or something similar, something of this size. I'll put a link to one of these in the description if you need to buy one of these. They're very cheap and they're very useful and they're very light, so you can carry them around in a bag without too much trouble. You would put this on the knee if you don't find that clicking area here. Lift this on top of the block just to elevate that a little bit further, and then once again holding here and here, pressing down very slightly and gently rock forward and backwards. Apply a little bit more pressure to the knee until you find that clicking area, and when you find it, that's when you know that it's working and you can concentrate on that area. And you can add a slight move to the left, slight move to the right, but this movement is very gentle. It doesn't take a lot of effort at all. There's no pain involved, there's no risk of injury involved. But if you lean right forward and right backwards, and right forwards, right backwards, it will gradually free up that area of the hamstring that is clicking over. And then obviously you can reverse this for the opposite side. Put your other leg horizontally to the floor. I'm going to use this because I'm quite flexible. I'm going to bring this to the top. And again, I'm going to put a little bit of light pressure down here. And again, I'm listening and feeling for any sort of tightness or clicking in the hamstring between the back of the knee and the top of the thigh. And all I'm going to do is lean forward gently and then move back again and then forward, just trying to feel for that tightness. Now if you've just done some sports, then you might be able to go further forwards because your legs will be all flexible and warm, and you'll be able to find a different point of tension, but there will usually be some form of tension there. And again, you can have a left to right action as you move forwards and backwards, just very gently moving around. You will find that sticking point, and then you can concentrate on that sticking point, and gradually it will wear away. So this is the first and very easy way to alleviate that upper tension in the hamstrings. The second way I relieve this, you can either have a tennis ball or anything that's got a similar diameter that is hard. Now, you could do this with almost anything, like a can of deodorant. It's the same sort of thickness, it's quite hard. So there's 3 points that you're going to address. And again, they're all in the top half of the leg. But there's 3 points that you're going to use as a bit of a pressure point or trigger point therapy. The first one is right at the top of the leg, just underneath the very top of the bone that you sit on. Just underneath there, about an inch or so below there, you're going to take the ball or whatever it is you've got, and you're going to put it right under there, and then you're going to straighten your leg out and just put as much pressure on it there as you can allow. And then gradually you'll lean your weight on it. It will feel quite a sharp amount of pressure, but it won't be painful, or it shouldn't be painful. So if it's painful, ease off it a little bit. So it shouldn't be painful, but you will feel a lot of pressure there. And you're just going to sit there just for a few seconds and do your best to relax and keep breathing throughout any stretch. You should always breathe through stretching. If you want to increase it a little bit without putting more weight on, just bring your toes back a little bit. That will stretch the hamstring and the leg out just that little bit more. If you do need to put any more weight on it, again, you can take the opposite leg, put it on top. That will increase the weight on that point. And you're just going to count there for 20 or 30 seconds or so, and that should be enough. So then you can take the weight off, just gently take it out. So that's point one, right at the top of the leg, just below the bone that you sit on. The second point is right in the middle. So if you put your fingers underneath and feel around, you'll feel there's 2 big chunks of muscles along the side. And if you feel around in the middle, you'll eventually feel the hamstrings, which just feel like wires going through the middle of the leg. You'll feel right in the middle there. It'll feel like there's 2 together. And again, you're going to take this or the ball or whatever you've got, and then this time is going right in the middle, but make sure that the pressure is on the middle of those hamstrings. This should be a little bit easier to put some weight on because you can lean forward to it. Again, pull the toes back. You can lean on it if you wish. You can drop your top leg on it if you wish, but that should be enough. And then if you really want to put more weight on it, if you are flexible already, hands under the calf and then lever your leg down and lean forward. You can put quite a bit of weight. But the important thing is to then relax the leg that's underneath. The tendency will be to keep that flexed and strong, but relax that leg. So then you can really push into it and you can stretch out the middle section of that hamstring while this leg's relaxed. Again, 20 or 30 seconds is sufficient. And then gradually allow it off. Don't let it off too quickly. And then you can shake it about a little bit if you want. The third place is at the other end, just behind the knee and at the back. Again, you can have a feel around. You'll feel where the muscles are and the ligaments are, and hopefully you'll be able to feel where the hamstring is. It's usually a little bit to one side rather than in the middle. So again, you take your ball or whatever you've got. I've got a can of deodorant. And again, get it in the right place to get it onto the hamstring. Again, you'll probably want to put your other leg on there if you're flexible. And again, you can lean into it and then relax this leg. Again, got the right amount of pressure on that section of the hamstring. And again, just 20 or 30 seconds or so. Pull the toes back if you want to exaggerate that a little bit. And then a little bit more pressure. And once your 30 seconds is up, gradually take it away. And then you should feel that this is a lot freer than it was before. If you want to make sure that it is totally loosened off, you can grab hold of it, make big circles with your foot here. So you come into the chest and out, into the chest and out, then reverse, up and around, up and around. And then you should feel a lot more flexibility in the upper hamstring after that. So those are the 2 best tips for loosening off the hamstrings. So one of the popular questions during my live feed on Friday was, how often should I stretch? So I think stretching is a good thing to do every day, even if you only do it for a few minutes, but I certainly wouldn't do too much of it every day, just literally that few minutes that helps you to loosen off, and any more than that is probably going to give you some sort of stiffness. If you do get any kind of stiffness, then I would drop it to every 2 to 3 days, but really I would say listen to your body and just do as much or as little as is necessary, as long as you're feeling supple and not stiffening up. So thanks again for watching. Please do subscribe and give me a thumbs up if this is useful, and see you next time.